Daniel from KML again. We're going to do another development update at another project in Anderton Park Road. There's been a lot of movement here as well, so we'll just talk through. So where we were previously, we're still stripping back. So what we're going to be doing now is plastering. So it's just been a bit more.
Might put some light on it. It's a bit dark in here.
Is this good now? Or?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, so
yeah.
we've got the plaster there. So we're just going to be plastering directly onto the brick because these bricks are like 100 years old, pretty much, and they're in absolutely fantastic condition, which is very, very unusual. But these old Victorian houses are built so much better than the modern ones. Just basically, it's not affordable to build houses in that way anymore. So because this is a smaller room, this is quite large. What we're going to be doing is borrowing a bit of room from this space. So this is going to be the ensuite for that room, as well as, and then the ensuite for this room is going to be located here. Just come through this way. So in Jiggins Lane, there's a lot more space. So this is going to be the kitchen diner. It's still a nice space to use. One of the features in the KML houses is that we have toilets that are easily accessible.
No door needed.
We're all friends here. So no, this is going to be the kitchen diner. So we're going to put a nice big kitchen for the 8 tenants here, as well as put like a little sofa with TV. And then there's going to be a door here, toilet removed obviously, and then there'll be an exit there because you need alternative exits because we're going to put a unit on the back. So we'll go around and I'll show you that.
If we can get out through this door up here. It's a bit tricky.
This one,
yeah? Yeah. It locks a bit at the top.
That's fine.
There we go.
Smashed it up.
Yeah.
Someone's tried to get in the house.
That's probably the builders.
Well, yeah. So we're going to be building an extension all the way out here. So this is going to be an additional unit. Let's see, we're digging down again. This is going to start to get built after the Jiggins Lane update, basically. Jiggins Lane extension. We've had building regs come and sign off the footings, which is good. Quick for it to go that way. So quickly get back inside.
A little bit darker than last time we were here. Got some plasterboard here as well.
So as we mentioned, this is going to be an ensuite. So plasterboard is to put on the walls that are really in poor condition, because you want to try and avoid putting plaster directly onto brick, because the bricks tend to move and the plastic cracks, and you're constantly repairing it, and it looks pretty awful if you're a tenant and you're showing them the room and there's cracks all over the wall. And an investor as well, if you wanted to raise finance. Again, still not sure what we're going to be doing with this one.
Storage closet or something?
So you know how I mentioned on Jiggins Lane that they did a poor job with the foam? This is what they should have done. The reason why is because there are certain fire regulations, and fire will rip through that foam like instantly, like that. Where this will have, we'll put like a slow burning self-coating on this, and it'll be a bit more fire retardant. As I'm sure you're aware, like the foam has lots of air in it, so it'll just go straight through it. So if your builder does try and do that, and you're doing a HMO conversion, you need to point that out, because even when it's all finished, the building regs aren't going to know. The HMO licensee isn't going to know that. But if you really, being the developer here, need to be aware of that, because it's the safety of your tenants. And I know for me personally, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if it was because I wanted to save 50 quid instead of painting some wood and waiting for a bit, just used expanding foam. And we have a fantastic relationship with our builder, fantastic. But obviously, even he still tries to cut corners if you don't hold his feet to the fire. So, okay, we've already been through this room, but just to give you a feel of how big the ensuites are going to be, they're actually going to be pretty big, aren't they?
Yeah, they're decent size.
So much room for activities.
This is one of the smaller ones, I think, but
yeah, it's a small unit. This is where we're going to put our washing, drying machine, our utility room, our boiler, everything. So it's nice space. One thing that I learned very quickly, because I've already got a few properties and a HMO myself, is that storage space becomes so paramount. And I've really had to be quite disciplined with the tenants in terms of making sure they don't block up the communal space. And the drawback of that, I understand that it's my fault being the developer, is that you have to give them lots of storage space. So we're making the rooms bigger now. It's, even though we don't have to, it's just if we want the house to be good and attract the higher quality tenants, you need to provide a space that the higher quality tenant will want to live in. So again, this is a nice big ensuite, or it will be. So all that's going to happen is we're going to plaster, because I'm not sure if we discussed this previously, but the roof, the felt lining needs to be replaced. So another little hint as well. Our builder again, who we have a great relationship, we're very happy with his work. He was like, oh yeah, you need a new roof. So we got never just take them at their word. Your default should always be, this person will rip me off as much as they can.
You've got a question, don't you?
Question absolutely everything. Even if you've been working with them for years, it's not to say they're a bad person, but it reflects badly on you if you're not negotiating and checking the work. So immediately what happened, we got different quotes, and then he got a bit like, oh no, I want you to use these contractors. I was like, no, we're going to get some quotes. And then suddenly, oh, good news, Daniel, it isn't the roof that needs replaced, and it's just the felt. So we still got our own different separate contractors around to, again, build more relationships, because who knows, we may be able to do it cheaper as well. Turns out he could do it a lot cheaper, and when we discussed it with them, he brought the price down. Initially, I wanted to like rip him to shreds for it, but our investor actually said give him a way to make it up, like give him a way out, because he's probably dug himself a hole and we don't want to burn the bridge, which was a very interesting view, because I would have never have done that before. But we did, and now we got it for quite a low price from what the other contractors quoted.
Yeah, it was significantly cheaper actually.
Yeah.
These jeans are a bit less tight than the last pair, which is nice.
I've lost weight, haven't I, Tim? You actually put me under. Again, this is my favourite room. It's sort of like the penthouse. It's again, nice space. We're not going to be doing anything in this room because we're going to take the roof off, replace the felt lining. And yeah, unfortunately, Doris really did delay things. So what the builders have been doing is doing the inside as much as they can, as opposed to going upstairs waiting for it to get better weather, because I'm sure it's not safe as well. So that's one issue that you have to bear with. Yeah, so this is basically, you see these wires dangling down, they're going to have to come off before we do the roof, but this is called first fix. So what they do is they just put the wires throughout the whole house. They don't connect it, they're not live. And it's called the first electrical fix. And then you do this is after you've done your carpentry first fix, and then you do your carpentry second fix, and then you do your electric second fix, and first and second fix with plumbing as well. So that's what these pipes are. And then you connect, you do your plastering, and then you connect sort of like the dressing, the toilets, the sinks, and say if you were building wood or shelves, you do that now, and then you do your painting. So that's sort of like the way of a refurb would go. And what I would also suggest is that you get educated, because you can lose a lot of money in this business. And we know a lot of people that are losing a lot of money, or not necessarily losing money, but spending more than they should. Like, people don't negotiate their broker fees, they don't negotiate with their lawyer. As we said before, it reflects negatively on you if you're saying, can you do it for cheaper than that? Like, well, why am I spending 1.5k for fees? You know I'm going to give you repeat business. Do it for 800 quid. And don't be surprised. Don't be surprised at how much you can negotiate. So my starting point is usually half, or maybe even a little bit less. So for instance, with our solicitors for this, we bought quite a few properties with them, and he tried to put the price up, and we're like, surely the price needs to go down. So because we're giving you so much business, and then he said, no, it's because of all the current tenancies. There's 12 tenancies I need to look at, and it eventually went from him trying to bunk it up to 500 quid for us getting it 500 quid cheaper than we normally would, because we said we're quite like, we can go to anyone. This is a free market, and we're giving you a lot of business, and that should reflect in the price. As well as your materials, at the minute we're not as hands-on as we want to be. So we say this, we want this wall plastered. You give us a quote for how much of materials, and they'll always put a little bit on. So when you're negotiating with the tradesman, that's what you're negotiating. You're negotiating like their 20% margin for the materials. You're still paying them for their labour, and if you're not negotiating, you're going to be paying like 30%, and they'll take liberties.
And a schedule of works can help, can't it? Obviously, before you do your project, which is great advice.
Speaking about this property development seminar, like us, I would say we're fairly experienced now. We've done a few big projects, but there's certain things that we weren't doing that we've learned. And one fantastic tip that we're going to do now is get a design draftsman in to come around and do a schedule of work. So we tell him what we want to do. We'll do a design schedule, and he'll come out, write down all the jobs that need to be done, and then we put that out to different builders and invite them to quote on it, rather than the builder going, that needs done, that needs done, that needs done. Because if we didn't know that, hey, hold on, I know that doesn't need to be done, bugger off, we're not doing that. Or so like the roof, we immediately knew there was no need for the roof to be done completely, because it was a good roof. So if you're inexperienced, that's a real great way to borrow someone else's credibility. So with the design draftsmen, they're people that work in construction day in, day out. They've done a degree, they know everything, and builders are really like the doers in this industry. But they need to earn money as well, so it's not a bad thing that they're doing this. They're trying to earn money. It's a free market economy, is what they do. But you should also be trying to negate your losses, because all that profit goes on your bottom line, and you want that to be as low as you can, so you're making lots of money. Again, if you want more information about investing in property, or you're interested in investing with us, go to www.kmlgroup.co.uk and or contact me on Facebook. I'm happy to answer any questions. Right, enjoy your Sunday.